The internet has never been shy about clowning celebrities, and Shaquille O'Neal knows better than most how quickly a photo can turn into a viral talking point. The latest uproar came when the 53-year-old NBA legend was photographed with 21-year-old influencer Sophie Rain, sitting comfortably on his lap at her birthday party in Las Vegas. The image, which Sophie proudly shared on X, formerly Twitter, with the caption, "Look who I ran into on my birthday," immediately set social media ablaze. What may have been a harmless celebratory photo to Sophie quickly spiraled into an online roast aimed squarely at Shaq, with critics questioning why a man in his 50s was once again entangled in a situation involving a woman young enough to be his daughter or even granddaughter. The reactions were brutal, as is often the case when internet users feel they've spotted a celebrity in an awkward or questionable position. Memes poured in, jokes circulated endlessly, and Shaq found himself trending, not for his DJ gig at the party, but for the optics of the photograph. Many saw it as yet another example of Shaq leaning into his reputation for being a playful but sometimes boundary-pushing figure when it comes to young women in the public eye. This isn't the first time Shaq has found himself on the receiving end of viral chatter related to his interactions with younger women. Years ago, rumors spread about him allegedly sliding into the DMs of women far younger than himself, sometimes young enough to be his granddaughters. While these stories often floated around gossip spaces without substantial confirmation, they created an image of Shaq that continues to follow him to this day. A towering figure on the court and in pop culture, but one whose private messages and flirtatious encounters occasionally draw side eyes from fans. Perhaps the most infamous example of this dynamic came in 2023, when former Home Depot employee Ariana Josephine suddenly found herself at the center of a viral storm. Ariana, who had been quietly working at the home improvement chain, posted a mirror selfie wearing her Home Depot smock. Her caption reflected frustration over being told she was too pretty to work there, a complaint that might have drawn modest attention on its own. Instead, the photo took off across social media, sparking debates about beauty standards, job respectability, and the ways women are judged by appearance in the workplace. Enter Shaq. The Hall of Famer noticed Ariana's... The story didn't end there. In a move that only heightened the drama, Shaq later posted a video of himself heading to a Home Depot store, jokingly suggesting he was on the lookout for Ariana. What seemed like a playful stunt to him struck others as a bit much, especially given the power imbalance and Ariana's previously expressed reluctance. Soon after the spectacle, Ariana quit her job at Home Depot. Whether her resignation was directly tied to the Shaq incident or the overwhelming attention her viral photo had brought, it became part of the narrative that Shaq's involvement had altered the trajectory of her life in ways she hadn't asked for. Against this backdrop, the image of Sophie Rain on Shaq's lap reignited conversations about his pattern of behavior. Social media users connected the dots between the Home Depot incident, the lingering DM rumors, and now Sophie's birthday photo, framing it as a recurring theme of Shaq's interactions with women much younger than him. Critics argued that while Sophie herself seemed perfectly comfortable, Shaq's choices continually invited scrutiny, especially in an era when the internet has zero tolerance for anything that can be spun into a meme or seen as inappropriate. The optics, many argued, mattered as much as the intent. Even if Shaq was simply fulfilling his role as the hired DJ, taking a friendly photo at a client's party, the fact that Sophie was only 21 and perched on his lap turned what could have been a harmless snapshot into a full-blown controversy. Twitter users flooded the comments with jabs about Shaq's age, jokes about grandpa energy, and references to his past viral moments. Some defended him, pointing out that both parties are consenting adults and that Sophie herself seemed to enjoy the interaction. But the majority leaned into the roasting as the internet does best. For Shaq, this kind of publicity is hardly new. His career has always been bigger than basketball, extending into movies, TV commercials, business ventures, and a well-crafted public persona as a gentle giant who loves humor and doesn't take himself too seriously. But the very qualities that make him lovable, his playfulness, his willingness to joke around, his accessibility to fans, sometimes place him in situations that blur the line between fun and questionable. In today's hyper-connected world, where every photo becomes content and every joke is dissected, even a seemingly innocent party picture can carry implications that fuel days of online discourse. The Sophie Rain moment, then, is more than just to roast him, laugh at him, and remind him that no matter how big he is, He's never too big to be the butt of a joke. And so, the cycle continues. Sophie Rain gets her viral birthday moment, Shaq gets roasted once again, and the internet moves on until the next meme-worthy incident emerges. Shaquille O'Neal has always lived in the public eye, and with that visibility has come constant scrutiny over his personal life, particularly his interactions and rumoured relationships with much younger women. While Shaq is best known for his dominance on the basketball court, his off-court behaviour has been a steady source of gossip, jokes, and even controversy. Over the years, he has developed a reputation for showing interest in women decades younger than himself, a trend that continues to shape how fans and critics view him. During his NBA days, Shaq was often linked to models, actresses, and entertainers. But as he aged and transitioned into media and business, the age gaps in his rumoured flings seemed to grow more noticeable. Social media amplified this, especially when younger women started publicly posting interactions with him, either playfully or to highlight how unusual it looked for a man in his 40s and 50s to be pursuing or even appearing alongside women in their early 20s. One of the earliest waves of commentary about Shaq's relationships with young women came when gossip blogs began circulating stories about him allegedly sliding into DMs of influencers barely out of their teens. These claims often lacked solid proof, but they stuck, largely because they fit the image many people had of Shaq as someone who didn't take life too seriously and had no problem reaching out to anyone who caught his attention online. The situation with Ariana Josephine, the Home Depot employee who went viral in 2023, pushed this narrative into a new level of visibility. Ariana, just 22 at the time, had gained attention for posting a simple mirror selfie in her orange apron. Shaq reportedly messaged her afterward, offering encouragement but also hinting at personal interest. While Ariana politely declined, her upbringing in a devout Christian home added another layer to the story, as she drew boundaries that many fans respected. Shaq, meanwhile, leaned into the viral moment by filming himself going to Home Depot to look for her, a stunt that was met with laughter by some, but concern by others. Shaq's interactions with women barely past legal drinking age often spark uncomfortable debates about age gaps and boundaries. He balances being seen as a fun, lovable giant with criticism that his choices cross into questionable territory. To some, it's harmless fun and a way to connect with younger fans. To others, it raises serious concerns. These moments have become a recurring subplot in his post-NBA legacy, shaping his reputation off the court. No matter his achievements, Shaq's personal choices keep fueling conversations and internet scrutiny.